Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a deep dive on Flower Nose. I was recently introduced to them, but I've been seeing them online for so long and I always thought to myself, I wonder if they actually perform well or if it's just really pretty packaging. And I can say that most of these formulas are actually even prettier than their packaging. They are one of the brands I've been extra excited about lately. I get excited every time they post or bring out a new collection. I've just been so impressed. I just love their formulas and their dedication to their aesthetics. They bring it to the max and I appreciate it so much. It almost feels like fantasy dream makeup. I don't know what it is, but it feels like it honors my inner child, like what I thought makeup was going to be like when I was a kid or something. It's truly a dream. But today I'm really going to break it down and you're going to see how these products perform. So before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. They don't have much for complexion, but I think they're starting to dip their toes in that realm because in their most recent collection, they came out with a primer, and in their last Swan Ballet collection, they came out with a powder. So let's try this out. This is the Dewy Hydrating Primer. So I don't know how much I'm going to like this, but it has a very unique texture. Look at that. I thought it was more like a lotion, like a classic cream, but it has kind of like a translucency to it that's really interesting. It almost looks like a classic kind of more blurring pore filling primer, which are typically matte. So let's see. Whoa, that has a different sensation than what I was expecting as well. It's super slippy, not in a greasy way or a serum way. It feels like, I don't know, it's new. It's like slippery, but not in a wet way. I don't know what you can take from that, but it's different. Yeah, what a unique consistency. It's almost jello-y. Let me show you. It has a little recoil to it. I'm interested to see how my foundation layers over this. It's really interesting. It doesn't feel like a dewy, creamy product. And I feel like it doesn't give like that much dew to my skin. So for my base, they don't have foundations or concealers, so I'm going to be using these two, which I'm most familiar with at this moment in time. For my foundation, I'm using the Clinique Even Better in the shade Ivory 28, and I'm using my Tower 28 concealer in the shade DTLA. So the foundation's on and it applied like normal. I don't really see that big of a difference with the primer underneath. Now I'm going in with my concealer, and I don't want to forget to mention these beautiful mirrors that they offer. And they have fun promos on their websites often, where if you buy a few products, they'll sometimes throw in one of these gorgeous mirrors. This one's my favorite from the Strawberry Rococo collection. I think it's beautiful. This is one of the mirrors from the Swan Ballet collection, the pink one. And then I have the three from the most recent Little Angels one. So there's a black one, a pink one, and a white one. I can't really use these in my videos though because I find that it offsets my white balance. So maybe this one would work, or maybe this one will be better. It's not as shiny and it's a little bit darker. I'll see if that works. They just launched this. This is their lip mask. I've been trying it out the last couple days here and I don't think I love it. It feels very, very slippery, so it disappears on me very quickly. Like, it doesn't linger around for a while, and I don't feel like it does much, but it adds a cute little shine, and I needed a little something, but it's not worth it in my opinion. But moving past that, we're gonna touch on the powders now. They came out with some really fun colors. My favorite is the pink, and it's like a different type of pink powder because it's quite warm. I recently featured this in my all pink everything video, but you can just see it has a little bit of a different tone than we're used to seeing with pink. They also have this really unique lavender powder. All their powders come with this adorable powder puff, but this is the lavender shade. It's gonna get all over. Hold on a sec. So here's the tones up close. Really cool. And then they also have just a classic white translucent powder, which I'll use a little bit later. I've done this once before, but for today's video, if you're new here, I'll do one side purple, one side pink. And they also have these little powder puffs that I love to apply my under eye powder with. And they also have these ones, which are really cool. They're like a little sponge on it. I wonder if I can dampen this. Might be good for like blush. So this side will be purple, and I'm switching my puffs so I don't have any cross contamination. And the other side will be pink. So here are both sides side by side. I don't see a mega difference here, but this side seems a little bit brighter. I like to reserve using this pink one for the days that I'm doing like a pink cheek. I feel like it flows really well, but I wouldn't really use it like on a day that I'm using like a beige blush or something. I feel like it looks a little off, but yeah, there's barely a difference. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the lavender, put it on this side, and then a little bit of the pink on this side, just to try to balance it out. But besides the powder's tones, I really like this powder. I find it to be super, super blurring. And when you touch your under eye after, it feels velvety soft. Like it doesn't feel like I'm feeling skin. It's so ridiculously soft. It's wild. It feels like I'm touching like an Agora rabbit or something. It's wild. They do have a contour palette. I don't have it, unfortunately, so I'm going right to blush, and I have 14 blushes to talk about. I think I'll break it down by collection. The only one I won't be touching or swatching is this one from the Rococo series. I don't have the heart to do it today. This is kind of like a collector's item for me at the moment. It's way too pretty. Okay, this is the blush in the shade Berry Mary 05 from the Strawberry Rococo. I just have such an obsession for strawberries. This is just my aesthetic. Okay, and this is what the actual pan looks like. Look at that detail. I do not have the heart to dip a brush in there right now. Won't be doing that, but how I'm going to go about this is I'm going to break it down by collection, and I'm going to swatch every shade on my arm so you can see, and then I'll decide which ones I want to layer. So I'll start with the Swan Ballet collection. So here are the Swan Ballet blushes swatched on my arm. We have the shade 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I've had this line for the longest. The Swan Ballet collection was the first collection Flower Nose sent me, so I know these ones through and through. These ones give a very soft little flush of color. They're pretty faint on the skin. I don't exactly know what the main purpose for this shade is, but what I've been doing with this one is kind of using it as a blush topper if I use too much of another blush, because these do give kind of like a whisper of color on the cheek, but they have a really nice consistency. They're super soft and velvety. They have a nice blurring, diffusing quality to them, and they look great on the cheeks. My personal favorite shades from this line are the shades 3, which is this gorgeous cool toned pink, or this kind of corally peachy shade, which is the shade 5. So that's that line. I might use one of these as a blush topper today. Now I'm going to swatch the 3 blushes I have from the Moonlight Mermaid series. Now these are really cool. These are ombre blushes, so I don't know how I'm going to swatch these, but I wanted to show you guys the pans up close because they're so stunning. This one's really cool. I like the purple in there, and then I have one more shade. I need to hold these up for a second because look at these things. They're so interesting. They're little ombre numbers and they have such unique tones. And this just makes my inner child so happy because I was obsessed with mermaids. So I don't know, I'm really interested in this one. So here's the mermaid blushes swatched. I swatched each part of the ombre and then I mixed it all together down here. This one's the most pigmented. This one I don't know if it would show up on my cheeks. I haven't used any of the mermaid ones yet, but they feel pretty similar to the formula of the Swan Ballet. But lastly, these next 5 are cream blushes, and these are the newer ones from the Little Angel collection. And look at the detail. I'm going to be sad to swatch these. As you can see, I kind of did a little swatch over there, but the detail is going to go away for sure when I swatch these. And here's the cream blushes swatched. So these ones are definitely more pigmented and they feel really nice. They have like a balmy feel to them. I got hints of Tower 28 blush vibes, but a little bit more silky and soft. So in order of swatches, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 again. I'm going to first go in with a cream blush, and I'm using the shade 4 Rose Ashes. And this is an angled foundation brush from Quo Beauty. Ooh, that turned out to be a lot more cool toned on my cheek. How interesting. Okay, to amp up the vibrance, I'm actually going to put in a little bit of this shade 1, Flaming Heart, just to see. Okay, yeah, that's more the vibe that I was after. These are interesting. They have like a nice luminosity to them, but when I'm blending them out, it almost feels like I'm blending a powder blush. It's really interesting. There's like a little bit of a, not in a bad way, but like a chalkiness to it that it feels like it's going to have good longevity. I like that color a lot. And I really want to try to layer one of the mermaid blushes on top. I haven't used these yet, and I'm going to use the shade 5 Siren Melody. I'll do a little mixy mix. And I'm applying with a very loose brush. This is a BMX 220 Radiance brush. You can really see the power of the blur from that formula. It just completely softened that out. Made it a little more peachy. Cute. So similar to my Kaleidos blushes, I kind of like to use the Flower Nose blushes as blush toppers because they're not vibrant enough for my personal blush tastes. They make for cute toppers and I like how it just softens out the whole cheek look. So now moving away from blush, I have these highlighters from the Little Angel collection. Before I get into my thoughts, let's take a second to just admire the beauty that is this highlighter. Like, look at the detail. It looks so pretty in a pearly product. So dimensional and so gorgeous to look at. Here are the arm swatches of those highlights. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can see the shade 4 is just like a glitter bomb and it's a really cool shade. It's like a pinky, violety blue reflect. Not my type of highlighter, but this as an eyeshadow topper or something of the sorts is really pretty. This one is kind of like a glittery satin combo and these ones are more kind of satins. So I tried one of these out in my last new makeup videos and I didn't really like them. I'm going to try it again today. I'm going to try the shade 3, this one here. I didn't really like it because I felt like it looked very particly on my cheekbone. It looked very sparse, but we'll see how it goes today with a different shade. Ooh, this one's working in a lot better. The pearls are actually melting and polishing in, and it looks really pretty. It's like a soft, radiant look. It's still a little bit sparse, but it's way better than my last experience with the other color I tried. Wow. Okay, that one looks way, 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 way better. That looks like a complete different product. Okay, I'm excited about that now. That one looks actually really pretty from afar. When I get up super, super, super close, there is like a little bit of a veil of tiny little particles of glitter, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's only when I get so, so close, which nobody should step back, but yeah, far better than the last. But it looks like each shade kind of differentiates quite a bit from one another. When I got up super, super close to my skin there actually, I don't know if this powder is for me. It's making my skin look pretty oily in this foundation, and usually this foundation makes my skin look very velvety and soft, and it almost is making it lift off from where I'm moving my face a lot, which is my mouth because I am yapping. But yeah, I don't know if that primer's for me. But now I'm going to take a little bit of the translucent white powder on a setting brush, and I'm going to try to blur out what I'm seeing. That helped a ton. Oh my gosh, where are my pores? Look how velvety soft that looks. Wow. I'm just going to quickly do my brows, so please enjoy the brow intermission. The next big category is eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to swatch each one too. I'll start with this palette from the Strawberry Rococo. This is the palette in 05 Creamy Macaron. I sadly chipped one of the shades. Next up, I'll be swatching these two palettes from the Mermaid collection. This one in 05, the blues, and the other one in 04, which has these lovely purples. Then I'll be swatching the Swan Ballet palettes. This is 01, my favorite from the collection. It just has some really soft everyday neutrals, but the glitter shades in here are stunning. Then we have Pink Swan, gorgeous little pink palette. And this last one, Black Swan, which is a very badass color combo. I love the shades in here. And lastly, these are the newest palettes. Look at these. This one is the shade Eden's Angel. So a softer, cooler toned palette. And this one is 02 Weeping Angel, which has beautiful purples and blues. And I have filmed quite a bit of content with these. I'll try to link all my different eye looks using these palettes. The only ones I haven't used are the Mermaid ones and this one here, the blue and purple one. Swatching all those palettes took way longer than I expected, but it gave me time to decide which one I wanted to use today, and that's going to be this one from the Little Angels collection. I find it to be actually quite similar to this one from the Mermaid one, but just a little extra. You get some purples and the blues are a little bit more blue instead instead of teal, but kind of the same vibe. I'm going to try to squeeze as many of these shadows on my eyes today. I'm starting with this shade right here. I'm going to put that in my crease. Pretty good. Okay, and then I'm going to take this brush with the deeper purple and I'm going to press that on the outer corner of my eye. You can get pretty good pigment out of the deeper palettes because it's typical for Asian beauty to have a little bit of a lighter payoff, but these ones you can kind of get the most out of. Then I'm taking a smaller brush with the blue, this one here, the matte blue, and I'm going to put this in my inner corner. I'm at war with myself. Do I put the blue in the middle or the gold? I feel like the gold will give more of an ethereal look, but look at that blue color. It almost looks wet. Gold. I'm gonna go for gold for a more ethereal look. Oh yeah. Then I'm going to take a detailing brush and I'm going to use the deepest matte, which is almost black. It's almost like a charcoal. And I'm going to deepen up my outer eye. I am getting some fallout because I'm using as much pigment as I can get out of these. It's my technique, not the shadow's fault. And then I'll fade into this shade right here. And I'm going to add that blue shimmer right here. I'm just going to dampen my brush to get some precision. And I just take whatever setting spray is closest to me. It happened to be Charlotte Tilbury today. Whoa. And then I'm taking a dampened brush with the silver and I'm going to use that as my inner corner highlight today. So why not? And with that same brush, I'm taking some more of that gold just to really amp it up. And then I have these glitter liners from the Swan Ballet collection. I guess I should swatch them. Here are the glitter liners. So in order we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to take this shade right here, number 2, and I'm going to amp up glitter and glitziness right here. I love glitter liners because it's such an easy way to incorporate glitter without having any fallout like I kind of have today, but you can also avoid that by doing your eyes first. I'm going to repeat this eye look. Although it's not my favorite ever, it was a good demo of all the shades. I have to be honest, I'm really not vibing with this eye look. I might wipe it off and do a little time lapse of a different look, but it was a good demo of the shades in here. I think this palette is pretty, but yeah, I do not feel like wearing this eye look today. So here's the little eye look for today. I'm not feeling the most creative today. I don't know what's happening, but if you love the Urban Decay Moon Dust eyeshadows, you're going to love these palettes because these shimmers are just so reminiscent, but they're even more intense, especially in this palette. I think this one is so cute for every day. Now let's move on to lips. I wanted to rave about this again. This is the shiny lipstick in Silver Moon. This is my favorite lip product at the moment. I'm still obsessed. Here it is on. It's such a gorgeous, lit up, juicy looking lipstick. It's sheer but powerful at the same time. It's so flattering on the lips. Even when my lips are super, super dry, this still makes them look hydrated. They have a ton of other shades. They do kind of look similar to one another. I did film swatching reels of all of them on my lips, so I'll link it down below so you can watch the full thing as well. But such a stunning formula. I'm not going to go in with this one today though because I'm going to try their new matte lipsticks from their recent collection. So here are the matte lipsticks swatched. They kind of felt like a whipped texture. So here they are 1 through 9. My eye is drawn to this one, and this one right now. Because I have kind of like a cooler cheek today, I feel like this one works, or this one here. So 4 or 7. This is the shade 4 Cupid. A little too peachy for today. Ooh, very moussey, very blurring on the lip. For a matte lipstick, it doesn't highlight much of my lip lines. So that's what it looks like full on, and that's it blurred out. Ooh, that feels like a nice formula. I like that. It kind of feels like MAC Powder Kiss lipsticks mixed with the Say Blur lipsticks and something else. Just it feels really, really soft and silky and moussey and plush. That feels lovely. I might add a lip liner, but I just want to pat on the shade number 7. Let's see if it's a good color. No. I feel like these are all going to be quite orangey or too coral for what colors I have on my face today. I might just have to go with Silver Moon, which I'm not mad at. I'm going to. It's my favorite lipstick and it's all I'm craving right now. So I'm first going to line my lips using Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut. Too good. Way too good. So here's my makeup look for today. I'm now going to highlight my top 3 recommended from the brand. So first being this lipstick. This is the first product I tried from them and I've been converted ever since, I guess. Like, I don't know. This is the first product I tried from them and I've been obsessed since. If you love like a glossier lip product, you're going to live for these. Not only do they add like the prettiest look ever, they hydrate, and they also don't transfer when I drink out of my water bottles and such. Only the top glossy layer will, and not the color underneath. I don't know what magic's in here, but it just works, and it also has great longevity for this type of glowy product. Unbelievable product here, and I hope they bring out more shades in a future collection or something, but stunning product, can't get enough. Then second on my list would have to be the eyeshadow palettes. They just thought out every single detail and they went for it. Like every time I look at these palettes, I notice something new. Like this one has like little words here. And I just love how much detail and thought went into the color stories and the formulas. The mattes perform beautifully. If there's a color story that you love, I would say go for it because honestly, they perform so well. Like the mattes are awesome. You can build them up and the shimmers are to die for. They're outer worldly shimmers. I am so in love with them. But if you don't like the potential for fallout, this is another great way to add glitter. And these are cool because if you apply these onto like a matte eyeshadow on your lid, it doesn't like darken them or anything, it just adds the glitter hassle-free. Now let's talk about the other products. I do have some unfortunate news about the powders. I never took any pictures with flash with it. I did just now, and as you can see from this photo, there's some flashback. There's no way I cannot have a straight face. Okay, but yeah, I took this photo and there's quite a bit of flashback. I didn't know that, so sadly, this powder may not work for you. It's so pretty and blurring, but you know, the chances of flashback Mary are high with this, so that's unfortunate. Thankfully, there are some other really pretty blurring powders out there. Touching on the highlighters, I'm so happy this one works for me and it matches my preferences. But yeah, you have to be careful with this line because each one differentiates from one another quite a bit. Like they're either glitter bombs or they're a little bit more particly. This one really polished well. Again, I used the shade 3 Chanting Anthem. So this one's safe if you have the same preferences when it comes to highlighters as me. Not a favorite. I do really like the blushes. The powder blushes I use more so as blush toppers as you saw today, but it was my first time trying the cream ones and they feel really promising and they had a unique formula. They kind of felt like balmy but still kind of moussey, and they feel like a product that would have great longevity because of that kind of powder additive in them. They have like kind of like that chalky grip that I was talking about. So I'm excited to try these on their own. I'll keep you updated for sure. But yeah, the powder blushes, they aren't like the most pigmented, vibrant things out there, but they are fun and they do add a little something to your cheeks. So if you like that kind of kiss of color, or to use them as a blush topper would be beautiful. Or if you just like that kind of blurring whisper of color, I think they'd suit your preferences for sure. For the matte lipstick, it felt like a promising formula. It felt unique to me. I feel like the shades though were a little similar to one another, but I'll have to do a swatching try on reels. So stay tuned for that. I'll for sure film one of those. Then I'll be able to really gather my thoughts on that. But for the face primer, I would say pass on this one. Although it has a really fun texture, I feel like it didn't really do much for my skin. It didn't really add a lot of dew. It just kind of made my foundation act a little weird. But maybe if you had dry skin, this would be a better product for you. I don't really love hydrating primers. I feel like I can get that from my moisturizers. I typically like primers that add to my longevity or blur out my skin or add a little something that my skincare can't. So this to me was just like an additive product for what? I don't know. But it is beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. stunning packaging. And finally, for the lip mask, I would pass on this as well. There's much better out there that perform better and last longer on your lips. Those are my thoughts on all of the Flower Nose products I've tried this far. They did give me a discount code. I'll have that down below as well, but it's Julia MUA and you can get a little bit of money off. But that's going to be all from me. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I will have everything I used linked in the description box down below, so feel free to check that out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!